Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 p.m. You're watching on Live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. Roundtable on the challenges and prospects of the Central Building and Equipment Laboratory. A signing of an agreement to support girls' education and empowerment. And on the international scenes, nearly 150 dead in petrol use over foods. Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, pay a vibrant tribute to the memory of the late Ahmed Musa, a Djiboutian notable, well known as appreciated by his compatriots for his generosity and availability. He was characterized the wise man who knows how to listen and reconcile people, said the head of state, just and good patriot. He is the head of an important family, including in particular the former Minister of Presidential Affairs in charge of promotion of investment, Mr. Usman Ahmed Musa. Also underlined that President of the Republic, may God welcome the deceased Djiboutian notable to his eternal paradise, and implored the head of state, who expressed his sadness, condolence to the family and his relative and friends. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. At the People's Palace this morning, in hosting a ceremony to launch the work of a roundtable organized by the Central Building and Equipment Laboratory, known as LBCE, titled Roundtable on the Challenges and Prospects. The dynamic aims to popularize the skills in the geotechnics of the LBCE, provide in the improvement of and carry out quality control action for works and constructions project in the Republic of Djibouti. That's a colorful ceremony official begin with the arrival of Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed, warmly welcomed by the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Ahmed Ibrahim, and the Director General of the LBCE, in his case, Ms. Rahima Ahmed. In the crowd, the Djibouti number 2 went the various stands of the service of the LBCE. This moment during the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamel Mohammed reviewed the samples of various constructions materials and laboratory equipment exhibited by the agents of the various service that makes up the LBCE. The general objective of this roundtable is to inform and sensitize the actors of the intersectorial and technical institution involved in construction on the capital importance of the quality control of construction work and compliance with the standards. During her inaugural speech at the ceremony, the Director General of the LBC, Ms. Rahima Ahmed, highlighted that the LBCE was the public institution of reference for the definitions of the standard for public and private works. She added it is considered for the state, and she underlined as a powerful asset and an essential tool for the achieving its ambitious sustainable development objective already initiated by His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh. She finally, the General Manager of the LBC, Ms. Rahim Ahmed, indicated that the LBC is responsible for carrying out sovereign mission by ensuring the protection of infrastructure and human and priority safety. For his part, the Minister of Infrastructure and Equipment, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Ibrahim, also highlighted that the objective of this roundtable is to better explain the various sectorial departments and the various partners of the rule and the role of the LBCE and its contributions in the development of the construction sector. In turn, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed said in his speech that the technical control of the construction aims to prevent technical hazards likely to lead the damages. No one can escape from its rules of public establishment, said the Prime Minister. And the private companies, these remarks concern all of us. It escaped no one that the safety of citizens, the protection of priority property, and the environment constitute a major concern of the government. The execution of the work must be carried out according to the rules of the art in accordance with the technical description, said the Prime Minister. At the end of the session, several partnership agreements were put in place with the Ministry of Interior through the Djibouti City Prefecture, the Ministry of Budget through the Expenditure Control Department, and finally the National Gendarmerie for the reinforcement of the action of the LCBE in the file. According to those responsible, thanks to this intersectorial partnership, the LCBE plans to put in place the necessary tools and institutional framework to strengthen its skills and materialize this process. Thus, the director of the LCBE and representative of the various institution ministries finalized this agreement, and under the auspice of the Prime Minister. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, and the French Ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Arnaud Guilbault, today sponsored the signing ceremony of a special agreement for the support project for girls' education and empowerment between the AFD and UNICEF. This project, founded by the French Development Agency and implemented by the UNICEF, was developed collaboratively with the participation of MENFOB teams and the Ministry of Women and Family and Youth Culture, as well as the UNICEF executive who worked there for more than a year. This is an ambitious project that has a series of objectives, in particular improving girls' access to quality primary and middle schools education, strengthening the schools of the adolescents in rural areas, and retaining girls in middle and secondary education. It is also the ideal way to strengthen the skills of a government official in taking gender into account. At the end of the official intervention, the UNICEF representative and director of AFD signed the documents of a special agreement relating to the project to support girls' education and strengthen their empowerment. For his part, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, said he was proud of this project, which fits perfectly into the framework of the Master Plan for Education and Training for the period 2021-2035, and which will make it possible to meet the challenges related to universal education and to promote inclusive and quality education in accordance with the roadmap of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, said the minister. The Minister of a Delegate in charge of decentralization, Mr. Qasim Harun Ali, presided this morning at the Kampaski, a launch of a co-construction workshop on the development of public service in the regions. This workshop is the culmination of a long-term work which was the subject of a broad consultation of national, sub-national actors concerned by these issues. The issues of setting up and improving public service in the interior region is a priority on the government roadmap. The Minister of Decentralization, Qasim Harun Ali, said in his speech that he is particularly attached to this study on the strategy to develop public service because it meets a major objective of decentralization. The studies on the strategy for development of local public service meets a major objective of decentralization, which is to bring service closer to the administrators. This study, said the minister, was founded by the European Union and the Research Institution for the implementation of these studies. It was this morning, Sunday, February 20, the Hill 9 Battalion is preparing to fly to Somalia abroad. The United Nations military plan toward review in Sector 4 under Djiboutian military recommend to reveal the Hill 7 Battalion. It should be noted that as a part of the African mission under the AMISOM banner, Djibouti is deploying 2 battalions of 2,000 men to restore lasting peace in Somalia. Arrived in 2019 in the relevant, the Hill 7th Battalion has reached the end of its mandate and must be relieved. It is with this in mind that the Hill 9 Battalion was set up after an accelerated continuous training of 5 men in Mariama in the national territory as part of this mission. The operational preparation, the Hill 9 battalions enriched with considerable experience is preparing to relieve the Hill 7 battalion and at the end of the session, several partnership agreements were put in place. The Ministry of Interior through the Djibouti City Prefecture, the Ministry of Budget through the Expenditure Control Department, and finally the National Gendarmerie, according to those responsible partnership. It is in this regard that the Ministry of Decentralization said the UNICEF and the delegate charged decentralization also. In his speech, the General Major Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim congratulate those battalions for who will leave the country. He congratulated the Hill Battalion 9 for during this in the country. And also for their part,
gobaanimada ugubiyo calankiyo arladu kiyayirkanaye ila tahay awoodii lagu aarsanayay moog tahay askariyo ila tahay awoodii lagu aarsanayay moog tahay askariyo aasaaskii nabadiyo abaabulihii guushiyo ambaqaadkii nabadiyo heebadii dagaalkiyo indhihiina tagay moog tagay askariyo aasaaskii nabadiyo abaabulihii guushiyo ambaqaadkii nabadiyo heebadii dagaalkiyo indhihiina tagay moog tagay askariyo adduunyada dhammaanteed udubkoodii baato adduunyada dhammaanteed udubkoodii baato haddaan armi jirin odayada gaboobiyo
It was this morning the UNFD for the women for the Francophonie and women. It was this morning, the same day, Sunday, February, the woman has highlighted the maid ceremony in which these females were gathered about the Francophonie and also were gathered a large member of the administration of the UNFD. But also it was this day the AMISOM battalion came back. For her part, Ms. Hasna Momin Bilal made a speech in which she congratulated those females and it was this morning the army forces of battalion arrived in Somalia as part of the for their part. They came back to Djibouti. They came back to Somalia, in which Ms. Hasna Momin Bilal said in her speech, the representative of UNICEF parliamentarians and thus young girls will study UNICEF. The objective of this project is to drop out of school between the age of 15 and 25 to have a second chance on adult and young people who have not yet attended schools and drop out they're providing them within the financial framework knowledge that promote the reintegration into formal vocational training structure thanks to bright to be defined indeed to strengthen the participation of women in economic and social development the country and to develop knowledge population in terms of increasing the capacity of a population to fight against poverty and integrate the national language into literacy. For her part, the representative of OIF, the African Union, Zahra Kamil, underlined that French-speaking women has playing promotion protection woman is right. The Vice President UNFD, Ms. Hassan Ahmed Bilal, indicated that the pilot project dropped out the criteria such this year French level. Still, as part of correctable activities, the Karma Karan Association went to Thursday, January, in Dikhel region, locality in sub-prefecture of Asaila, Dikhel region located at 9 kilometers, the capital of the region. It organized Solidarity Day. Therefore, the benefit of the inhabitants. This village is a stage of a long journey started in July 2021 by Karma Karan Association, and it is member of Dikhel region, a place under the sign of solidarity, the social mutual aid and duty toward the population of this locality made up several donations will contribute to significantly improving the living condition of the inhabitants. That's for other localities already visit. The association proceeded to distribution and sanitary spend the winter optimal the adults and children, but also other things reinforce rights and protective the safe surface or place against bad weather, rain, wind, sand, and snow, compound sport equipment, and balance. In addition, the pupils of the primary schools of village benefit from the significant donation of school supply kits hand delivered by the president of Karma Karan Association to the village. And now moving on to the international level. 5 days after a disaster rescued continued the search all day using a shovel and a spade to try and found the missing. Torrential rains fell Tuesday on this city of 300,000 inhabitants located 60 kilometers north of Rio de Janeiro, transforming the street into a torrent of mud and causing during this phenomenon received more than the Petropolis received more than a rain and the average for an entire month on February. More than 500 firefighters with the arrive the drugs remains a chance of finding survivors and increasingly slim. The Austral summer was particularly deadly in Brazil. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.